I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. You used to rock me in the cradle of your arms. You said you'd hold me till the pains of life were gone. You said you'd comfort me in times like these, and now I need you, and now I need you, and you are gone.
Cantus is acclaimed for its trademark warmth and engaging performances of music from the Renaissance to the 21st century. The men's vocal ensemble, based in Minneapolis, St. Paul, performs more than 60 times a year throughout the United States. Aaron Humble, a tenor, is in his 9th season with Cantus. Humble talks with the Center for the Performing Arts, Christy Black, about how the singers work without a conductor to create the Cantus repertoire. Humble also discusses how their U.S. tours have helped to build a program reflecting the identity we share as Americans.
You describe yourselves as chamber musicians instead of a choir. Can you tell me a little more about what it's like to perform without a director?
When an audience sees a group of singers together, obviously they most often think of a choir, and when you think of a choir, you think of a conductor. Chamber music is not something that you find terribly often in vocal music, and that's part of what makes Cantus unique. We rehearse and perform without a conductor or a music director, and function somewhat like you would think of a string quartet, but of course we're using our voices as our instruments. We sing a broad range of music, and we always program concerts that have some sort of a narrative or a theme. So it's really it's a unique concert experience for the audience.
You mentioned going into a theme for each show. How do you go about choosing what that theme will be?
Well, it starts with a discussion, and that discussion actually happens with the whole company, so the 9 singers, as well as our administration who work in the Cantus office here in Minneapolis. So we sit down and we talk about what themes might be relevant for the upcoming concert season. For example, this year, the program that we'll be performing at Penn State is about an American identity. It's called A Place for Us. And it's about the search for home and how we find what feels like home to us, and how we've all done that here in the United States. But what is it about being an American that makes an American identity? A Place for Us, that line comes from Leonard Bernstein's Somewhere, which is a piece that sort of bookends the concert. And that song really encapsulates the hope and the search that many immigrants feel when they come to the United States, or when they go to any land where they're seeking new places and new opportunities.
You travel to more than 35 cities, I saw last year, 60 shows annually. How is it that you yourself, with your own life and those of the group, balance what you find as home and what you find is important from where you live to being on the road and sharing your message with others?
Being in Minnesota, obviously we have a lot of winter. Getting away from that is a great benefit of the job, but it also allows us to see how other people live and make their lives in parts of the country that are very different. One concert that stands out to me is the first time we went to a small coastal town in Oregon. And it's just a tiny little town, and practically the whole town shows up for a concert when there's one there. And the concert is in this little tiny chapel, and it's actually in a camp. And the chapel will just be stuffed full of people even standing, but even stuffed full is only like 150 or 200 people. And there's just something so special about that experience. And plus, the coast of Oregon is such a beautiful place, and so very different than Minnesota, that it gave me a great appreciation for their lives there.
I noticed that you also perform with other performing arts organizations. I saw the Boston Pops on your list, as well as Minnesota Orchestra. Could you tell me a little bit more about the groups you're involved with?
Well, I'll start with the education piece because it's a piece that's so important to Cantus. One of the values that we hold close to us is that of accessibility and that of bringing music to people where they are. So here in Minnesota, we work with 3 high schools every year where we're in residence for the entire year, and we sing a concert for them, for the students. And then we go and we work with their choirs throughout the year and then bring the 3 schools together for a festival and a concert. And each year that we do that, we try to go to an urban school, a rural school, and a suburban school, so that we're also bringing students from very different walks of life together. And that can be a real eye-opening experience. But the thing that bonds them together is their love of music. And that's part of the work that we'll be doing at Penn State as well. We'll have the opportunity to do a lot of outreach with different groups throughout the university and the community while we're there. And that just allows us to have a much richer experience in the community as well. We don't just sort of blow through town for a concert and only see, 500 or 1,000 people and then we're out the door. But that opportunity to dig in and experience a greater section of community, I think, is very rewarding.
What drew you into wanting to do this for your life?
Well, I started my musical career singing in high school choir, like so many students do, and it really inspired me. And I went on to Millikan University in Illinois, which has a great performing arts program, and they're very well known for their choir as well. And I remember the experience of hearing that ensemble for the first time and just being sort of overwhelmed by the complexity of the sound of all of those voices together and singing at such a high level. And then I went on to Indiana University, which is known, of course, for being an opera school, where my focus was really solo singing. And at the end of my time at Indiana, I was auditioning for jobs and looking around, and I saw an audition notice for Cantus. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. First of all, it's a full-time job with a salary and benefits and 403B retirement plan. And as a musician, that's not something that vocalists are used to finding. In many ways, our job is structured like an orchestra. It's a full-time gig.
You have over more than 14 albums out right now, including the latest one, Song of Czech. Which one is your favorite and why?
Oh boy. Well, I have different favorites for different reasons, but if I could only choose one, I would say my favorite would be That Eternal Day, and that is because I have a great love for American music, especially for early American music, sacred harp, shape note singing, the music of William Billings, and that is an album that is it is both sacred and spiritual in nature, and it really, for me, encapsulates a unique American sound. But on the other hand, Song of a Czech is a terrific album that is looking at some of the European masters, Dvorak and Janacek, and some music that has not been recorded before in the United States, and music that is not sung terribly often. So I'm thrilled to get that out for public consumption as well.
Cantus performs A Place for Us, April 1st, 2014, at Penn State's Pasquerilla Spiritual Center. For tickets or information, visit CPA.PSU.EDU or phone 1-800-ARTS-TIX.